Hello, I'm Nick Montfort. Thanks for tuning in. Over the next few minutes, I want to walk you through a way of thinking about computation that I think is going to be absolutely essential for your work at the Banff residency. And let's be clear, this isn't about turning you into a software engineer. It's about learning how to think with computation.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. The first thing we need to do is reframe this whole subject. A lot of people hear the word programming and they immediately think of something really technical and, well, kind of scary. I want you to throw that idea out. I want you to think of programming not as some rigid, formal task, but as a creative practice, a way to ask questions, just like you would with writing or sketching.
My real goal here is to show you the power of programming as a tool for brainstorming, for sketching out ideas. It's a process that lets you discover where your product is going while you're making it, instead of just, following a rigid plan you made at the beginning. And that is going to be so key for the kind of innovative work you're about to do at Banff.
So let's start with this big shift in perspective. We are moving away from the idea of programming as building some kind of finished building, and we're moving toward the idea of programming as just sketching in a notebook.
And listen, let me be perfectly clear about this. This whole approach is designed specifically for you, the artist, the humanist. I'm completely assuming you're starting from scratch with zero programming experience. If that's you, you are in exactly the right place. The core idea that we're going to play with is something I call exploratory programming. It's pretty simple, really. It means using a computer not just to build something you've already planned out, but to actually discover what it is you want to build in the first place. It's about letting the process itself lead you to some really unexpected and often wonderful places.
To get a better handle on this, let's look at a concept that I find super useful, especially for any kind of creative work. And that's the balance between exploration and exploitation.
Think about something as simple as a trip to the grocery store. You can be in exploitation mode. You have your list, you know exactly where everything is, you grab your stuff, and you get out. It's efficient. Or you can be in exploration mode. You wander down an aisle you've never been down, you pick up a weird-looking vegetable, you try something new. Any successful creative project, just like a great meal, needs a healthy balance of both.
So here's where it gets really interesting for you. This idea applies directly to the work you'll be doing in Google AI Studio. I want you to think of AI Studio as your new digital sketchpad. Every single prompt you write isn't a command, it's a sketch, it's an experiment, it's an act of exploration.
So let's lean into that idea of your new sketchpad. And to make you feel a little more at home, let's translate a couple of these core programming ideas into terms that you're already totally comfortable with from the humanities.
All right, first term, syntax. It sounds technical, I know, but forget that. Think of it as the grammar of a poem. A sonnet has rules, right? 14 lines, a certain meter, a rhyme scheme. Those rules don't limit the poem. They give it its shape. They enable its beauty. Syntax is exactly the same. It's just the grammar that gives your computational idea its form and its meaning. So when you inevitably get a syntax error message, it is not a failure. The computer isn't scolding you. I'm serious about this. That error message is your friend. It's the system trying to help you. It's like a good editor, gently pointing out, hey, your poetic grammar is a little off right here so that your idea can be expressed clearly.
Okay, next up, loops. Again, forget the jargon. A loop is just the refrain in a song, or it's a recurring visual motif in a painting. It's a really powerful way to take one simple action and repeat it over and over to build up something with real complexity and rhythm. It's fundamental whether you're analyzing text or generating images.
All right, with those ideas in our back pocket, let's design a quick, simple sketching exercise you can do today, like right now in AI Studio, just to get a feel for this way of working. This is where the real fun starts.
I call this a free project because it's intentionally loose. There's room for you to explore. So try this. Find a short paragraph you like, maybe from Kafka's The Castle. Pick out the key nouns: castle, church, stranger. Then go to the LLM and ask it to rewrite that same text, but swap Kafka's nouns for ones from, say, Moby Dick, whale, sea, harpoon. And then just look at what it makes. How does it feel? How does the meaning totally warp and change? It's a tiny little act, but it shows you so much about how this kind of inquiry works. And that right there, that simple little exercise, that is programming as inquiry. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. You're using a simple prompt, not to get an answer, but to probe a subject, to ask a what-if question. And in the process, you stumble upon brand new ideas. The goal isn't just getting answers, it's discovering entirely new questions to ask.
Okay,
So as you get ready for BAMF over these next couple of weeks, let's use this whole philosophy to give some structure to how you prepare, how you set up your notebook.
So here's a really practical tip. Think about your notebook, whether it's digital or physical, as having two distinct parts. One part is for exploration. This is your messy sandbox. This is where you record your craziest what-if questions, your brainstorming audio notes, whatever. Then you have your exploitation section. This is your refined guide. This is where you save the good stuff, the prompts that worked, the little snippets of code that gave you an interesting result, the things you want to build on.
And please, as you dive into all this, remember what the real goal is. Your goal at BAMP is not to become a master of AI Studio. Honestly, that's not the point. The point is to use this tool as a partner, as a collaborator, to help you encounter new ideas and perspectives in your own work.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought to carry with you. You now have a new kind of sketchbook, one that can work with logic and language in ways that pen and paper just can't. So the real question isn't what you'll make. The real question is, what new things will you see? What new questions will you ask?